Cody, so what do you see for your future? Where would you like to go?
Wherever this takes me, honestly. Me and my fiance
Right.
talked about it. It is a dream. We all do something because we want to get to the highest level of what we're doing. So I've had that conversation with her and with my parents, and I have two kids. I have a 7-year-old and I have a 3-month-old now. So wherever it goes, it goes.
It's main event time.
Rewind, Recap, Relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.
Welcome to a new series of Rewind, Recap, Relive. Where Are They Now? Featuring for the first time on the show in 3 years. First, he was on with the legendary Don Morocco. Now he's back. We're going to see what's up with Cody James. Welcome back, Cody.
Hey, Jonah. Thank you so much for having me back on. I've been looking forward to this, and the first one, we knocked it out of the park. I'm hoping we do it again.
I'm hoping we do it again, too. And in full transparency for everybody listening, this is actually our third. Cody and I filmed a great interview about a month ago, and it's since been lost.
It's going to show up one day in like 10 years. It's gonna appear, and we'll share it with the world then.
100%. No, it's the lost episode, but
Yes.
we're gonna knock this one out of the park too. And it's cool because in between that last interview a month ago and now, NWA 75 happened, and you had a really cool debut of a new persona for Cody James, a new side of Cody James that I'd love to get into. So a little teaser there. But as I said, so nearly 3 years since our first interview, and if you could just describe in a few words what the last 3 years has been like for you, because I mean the ascent watching it has been crazy, your career. So if you could just put it into some words for everyone listening.
Wild.
Wild.
It's been an
Good word.
absolute wild ride. It's had a lot of ups. It's had some downs. It's had some stagnancy to where I felt like it leveled out for a little bit, and then we just started going full speed ahead. And it's been so much fun, and the experience. That's like what I'm keep telling myself is enjoy these moments. Everything that gets thrown my way, I'm just enjoying it so much, and it's what I wanted to do since I was a little boy. So I'm taking it all in, and just trying to tell my kids too the same thing. Like, guys, that's what I wanted to do when I was your age. I'm living my dream now, and trying to motivate them and show them that with a little bit of hard work, anything's possible. Just how bad you want it.
And you bring up family, which in our first interview with Don Morocco was a huge point for you. And I think a huge point for you to keep solid even in your wrestling journey was to make sure that family was strong at home, and that one didn't affect the other in any way, but that family always came first. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that's been, how you've been keeping with the dynamic of family and wrestling life?
When I'm home, I'm super dad and super husband, that's for sure. Making up for missed time and stuff like that. But I'm so thankful. I'm so lucky. My wife, first of all, she's my number one supporter. She's had my back since day one of this journey. Talked about some of the sacrifices that it may have to get there. Even more supportive now with everything going on with the NWA. So that's a huge plus for me. The rest of my family, supporting, coming out to as many shows as possible, helping me continue to grow, my brand, Cody James brand. Which is now, like you said, you teased it, it's changing. We debuted it at 75, and next week on NWA Powerrr, you're going to get to see it live on YouTube as well. I'm so thankful, man. I'm just, family's everything to me. Like you said, we talked about it at the beginning, and it's something that's never going to change.
And it's so cool to see the support system that you have, and with the success that you've gained, it's all really coming together. And before we jump into NWA, I asked a story on our last one that is lost, and I'd love for you to tell it again because I just thought it was so sweet. Tying it into family was a post you made on Instagram that your daughter was able to come with you to your first show. I believe it was in June. And you said the travel wasn't crazy, but just the premise alone and that it happened, I think is such a cool story to tell.
Absolutely. So as a lot of people know, Me and my daughter's mom, we are not together. So we have split custody of her. Hadley, she just turned 10 in August. So she's my oldest, and we've always had a really close relationship. Before I met my wife, it was me and her on the weekends. It was me and her on Wednesdays, doing daddy-daughter dinners and trying to find activities to do on the weekends because I'd have her every other weekend to keep her happy, keep her busy. Obviously life goes on, you grow. Met my wife, had another child, August, our little man who's 3, but she's always been like my little buddy, like my best friend. And so I've been gone a lot. Weekends when she's here, she comes over, she wants to hang out with dad. Yes, she gets to see, my wife. She gets to spend time with her little brother, but she comes over on the weekends to spend time with me. It just so happened that I had a show that weekend in Janesville, Wisconsin for JWA, Janesville Wrestling Alliance. I threw it out at her. I had a show Friday night and I had a show Saturday. So it's double header that weekend. And I talked to her. I said, hey, throwing it out here. Not expecting her to say yeah, but it was, hey, you want to come to the show with me? It's about, just a little over an hour car ride. It's going to be a lot of hurrying up to wait around. And she thought about it for a little bit and she said, yeah, let's go. So we jumped in the car. We stopped at the gas station, got some snacks, drove out there. We listened to some music on the way, listened to a lot of Taylor Swift on the way up there. I'll tell you, that girl loves her Taylor Swift.
Who doesn't?
And we got there and, they were already set up and we were hanging around. She's, introducing her to the boys and the girls there in the locker room, introducing her to, the office and selling merch. She's helping me sell merch and, she sells it better than I do. I need to bring it to all the shows because I made more money that night in merch than I ever have in the last 3 years. So, it's just like, good Lord, I'm doing it.
Did she get her cut?
Time. Yeah. And, made a little deal, you get to keep a little bit, of what you sell. And so, of course,
I'm sure she made sure she got it.
She went and bought her pizza. She went and got her, Mountain Dew, her candy. I'm like, good Lord, kid, you're going to be sick tomorrow. But then, she show started and she was sitting in Gorilla and we're hanging out. So right before my match, I'm with her, and she's watching on the screen in the back. And then, so she was the last person I see before I walked out of the curtain. And then she was the first person I saw when I walked back. And it's like, it's pretty cool what your dad gets to do, right? And she said, yeah, it's awesome. So to really see like her being proud of her dad right there, that meant a lot to me. But where she wowed me was at the end of the show. We're all, tearing down, we're helping, trying to get out of there. It's late at night. Got, or drive back to Illinois afterwards. And we're tearing the ring down. And she just jumps in. She jumps in the middle, helps, carrying the braces, onto the trailer. And, like, obviously I'm holding the one end and somebody else holding the other end, but she's trying, she's in the middle. And I didn't have to ask her. I didn't have to beg her to help. She just wanted to help. And that was really cool. It was really cool to see that over these last 10 years, we've been able to instill those, that quality in her, that work ethic to help out. And so that was a really proud dad moment of mine. But then we came home, we listened to more Taylor Swift on the ride home. It was great. This was very talented, don't get me wrong, but 2 hours of it is a lot.
Just very, very talented, because there's a lot of people. I mean, you never know where you're going to encounter a Swiftie, so we got to make sure. We love Taylor Swift, but
we do love Taylor Swift. 2 hours straight
is a lot.
Yes,
I think her concert that sold out 80,000 or something was like 3 hours straight, and that's just 3 nights in a row.
And she's coming back around Midwest, and I think she's going to Indianapolis next year. I was talking to my wife. I'm like, should we take Hadley? Should we try to do it? Try to get tickets and take her down? She's like, yeah, but what about our 3-year-old? I'm like, oh, is he gonna sit through this?
No,
exactly.
I don't think so.
Exactly. He'll be 4 then, so maybe, but probably not. Maybe. So we're talking about it. It's in works,
It's in the
Hopefully Ashley doesn't watch this and I was surprised.
Planning stages. A view is a view. I hope she does watch it. But she
Yeah,
turned
right. A view's a view. I like it.
She so you said she turned 10 in August, and your son is named August?
Yeah, my son's
I
name's
wanted
August.
to make sure I heard that right. That's really cool that her birthday's in August and her brother is August.
Yeah,
too.
so it's actually my father-in-law's middle name.
Okay.
And then it's also my daughter's birthday. I just turned 35 in August. So August is obviously a meaningful month for us. You know, it's a good time. There's a lot of stuff going on.
And to transition now, of course, when I interviewed you those 3 years ago, your main promotion that you were hanging at, you were CSW Strong, that family, and now from CSW to NWA. Can you tell me how it first started? Like, how did you even get your foot in the door with the National Wrestling Alliance? That's huge.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget it. I was at work and I get a text message from my buddy Daisy Kill.
Love him. Yes.
You know, Daisy's been on the show, right?
Former guest Daisy Kill.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Daisy Kill's been on the show.
Was on with Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Yes.
Great episode. Go in the archives and find that. That was awesome. Yeah.
So I get a phone call and he's like, "Hey, brother, NWA is coming to town for pay-per-view in April." I'm like, "Oh shit, that's pretty cool." He's like, "Yeah, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing, man. I'm at work. What are you doing?" He's like, "No, what are you doing that weekend?" I don't know. Like I'm open. Why? What's up? He's like, "You want to try out?" I'm like, "Huh?" You know, and he put me in contact, you know, with a couple other people. I got to go in there, and we opened 312's pre-show. So the pre-show went live on YouTube, and we were on right before that. So a dark match right before that. We got asked to be a part of their. It was supposed to be a 20-man battle royal. I'm pretty sure it ended up being like 40. There were so many people in that ring.
This was 312, right? This was this NWA 312, that battle royal?
312, that
312, yeah, that was definitely more than 20 people.
Yeah, there were so many. It was super cool, and I was just expecting it to be a one-off. You know, like I got to say I did it. Super proud. My family came out. My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister-in-law, my wife, my in-laws, my wife's aunt, her cousins, you know, everybody came out to support me. And it was so cool. And I felt like, you know, I did a show with a major wrestling company, let alone one of the most iconic wrestling companies in the business, where the who's who has been there. And then it's, you know, have a couple conversations and, hey, you want to help out at the Crockett Cup? Yeah, I'd love to help. You know,
look at that shirt. Yeah,
sweet shirt. You know, you can get them on NWA.com.
Get it right. That cheap plug. Yes,
you got to get it right. I got a text message, you know, from Kyle Davis, and it was, "Hey man, are you available this day?" Yeah, I'm available. You know, like, yeah, what's up? And he brought me in for TV tapings in Highland Park when they came back to Chicago. It was like couple weeks after Crockett Cup, and then I show up there and they say, "Hey, go get in that line. You need a physical from Missouri for 75." And I'm like, "What?" Like, what do you mean I need a physical? They said, "Yeah, you have to have your license to wrestle there."
Right. Okay. One of those states.
It's commission states still, and I'm like, "No way, no way," you know, and yeah, so that was pretty cool. And I found out that day that I was being teamed up with Jake Dumas, the Magic Bastard, and the lovely assistant CJ to form Magic Inc. And we had a tag match, I had a singles match, both for NWA Powerrr tapings there. Now we're getting ready for Samoa in Cleveland, Ohio at the end of October. So it's been a trip. And like I said, I'm just enjoying every minute of it and appreciating it for all it's worth, just because you never know. Like, I could stop getting the call tomorrow, you know? But I'm going to make sure that I do everything in my power, you know, and try to do things the right way and continue this road, because, man, it's something. When you truly do something that you love every single day, it's not work, it's special. So it's really cool to be able to do this. And I remember being a little boy, you know, wrestling my wrestling buddies, my Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan wrestling buddies. And now, you know, now I'm doing it at a professional level. It's amazing.
That is really cool. I mean, I'm so happy for you to like seeing this journey. Anyone who's been following it can attest, and also a testament to how quickly things move in the wrestling business. Because a month ago when we spoke, you didn't even, I feel like you had no clue, or at least we didn't speak of the prospect of NWA 75. And then you, as we said, the characters completely shifted from when we talked to now. So I definitely want to talk about that. You did allude to something to me off camera too, that you have a better understanding now of your stance in NWA. Do you want to get into that? Because I don't think when we spoke last time you had this information.
Yeah, no, I didn't really know where we were going. And me and the Magic Bastard, Jake Dema and CJ, we are Magic Inc. We are a trio. And I can tell you that we are going to be at the pay-per-view in Cleveland. I could tell you that we're going to be at the following TV tapings the following week down in Nashville. I was given a gimmick that they want me to portray, that they see me as. I took it and I'm running with it. And I'm absolutely loving it. So
please,
I am going to be now known as the Barker Cody James in the NWA. I am a carnival Barker. Twisted, deranged, lunatic. I get to bring out a side of me that not a lot of people get to see unless like you're really close to me. It's a goofy, fun. I have a whole different personality that only people really close to me get to know. And that's because I'm truly a shy person. And it takes a lot to get that out of me. And I get to display this for the world now. The look is just, it's going to always be evolving. And I just got some of my gear for the next pay-per-view. In the mail today. I hope that I put my take on what I was given as good as anybody could. You know, it's had a couple people on the indies already asked, like, hey, can you bring the Barker here? We want to use that. Hey, when's Magic Inc. coming over here?
Very cool.
You know, so it's gaining traction and people are putting their stamp of approval on it after just barely seeing it. So I'm really excited for the Powerrr tapings to air next Tuesday. And then we have a couple more things airing before the pay-per-view. And I just want to get this character out there so everybody can really see. I have one of my jackets right here, actually.
I was about to ask that the pattern. I thought it was just a pattern on the chair, but
yes, this is actually this jacket right here was actually the base idea. And we're like, how can we make this even more twisted and deranged? And through this whole journey, I'm pretty sure I figured out where Seth Rollins buys all his clothes from. So, you know, I'm pretty sure I found out where all those suits are, because when you're looking up weird, goofy suits,
great.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that one on USA before.
Can you explain what a carnival Barker is, to maybe how it was explained to you, or with the portrayal that you're giving us of a carnival Barker?
Well, I didn't know what it was. I had no freaking idea. So I had to Google it real quick. I had to learn. Because I was given an opportunity. I'm like, yes, sir. Like I'm wearing camo pants and a big Cody Country shirt. And I'm like, oh God, how am I going to get this over? You know, at my first set of tapings. But so I am the guy that introduces you to the carnival. I am the guy at the front gate that gets you to buy into the show, that wants you to go see the magic, that wants you to go see the bearded lady. That is my job, to sell you on everything. So I talk a lot and running and wrestling and bumping and talking. It's afterwards, I'm like, I'm running out of stuff to say. So I'm actually at home, you know, writing stuff down. Been watching a lot of Showman videos, been watching a lot of like the Joker, a lot of the Riddler, to kind of get inspiration just on how they act, how they walk. You would almost think that I was trying to bring a carnival from the 1940s into town, you know, like here, step right up. I had 20 minutes to figure out what a carnival Barker was, right? So I just took the first thing I saw. Guess I didn't bomb it, you know, because
not at all.
They brought me back, and I just cannot wait. And I get to wear guyliner too. You know, so
guyliner is the best.
Guyliner.
Unfortunately, no guyliner right now, but
no guyliner right now. Yes. I have yet to learn how to apply it myself, and my wife is at work So sorry to let everybody down. Maybe next time. Maybe in
next,
3 years
yes.
we'll do another one.
In 3 more years, we'll see where the Barker's gone from there. But that's,
Yes,
I love that you're able to sink your teeth into something like that.
it's almost like comedy and tragedy.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
So I am the comedy to our team, and Jake is the tragedy. And then you have CJ who brings us together. I'm really blessed to have those two around me too to help bring this out.
Well, along with those two right by your side, I mean, there's so many great minds right now in the NWA. There's so many minds that have come through it, and I'm sure so many right now that you get to see whenever you're there, that you have access to. Have you gotten any wise words, whether it be on the Barker or before that, from some of the veterans around there?
Be quite frank with you, it's one of the most welcoming locker rooms I've ever been in since I've been in this business. It's everybody's so kind to each other, everybody's so welcoming, so inviting. Vampiro, I get to talk with them a lot. Mecca Wolf's a former CSW champion, came up through CSW. He was known as 450 back then. He went to California or Mexico, and now it was with AAA. And his tag partner, Bestias, Seis. I get to hang out with them a lot and talk to them and get their insight on stuff. Trevor Murdoch, Mike Knox.
Yeah.
Talking to them, just so much knowledge there. And they're just, just such good dudes. If you talk to me a lot, I like it, and I'll call you a good dude. And that means a lot, like that's when I really, genuinely like somebody and think that they're doing the right things for the right reasons. And Chris Masters there. Mm-hmm. You have EC3, the new world heavyweight champion. You have Tom Latimer. I've talked to him a bunch. He's really close with James Storm. Worked a number of shows with James, so I've gotten to chat with him multiple times, and I actually ran into him. He swung by the taping, so I got to see him for a little bit. That was nice to catch up with him. Everybody, top to bottom, is so cool, and then you have the women's locker room, which it's arguably the best women's division in wrestling right now. From Camille, the Page sisters, Kenzie and Kylie Page, to Natalia Markova, to M95, Missa Kate, and Maddie. And I can just keep going on and on and on. And everybody's just so hungry to do well, but they're also hungry for you to do well because they get it. If we succeed, we all succeed. I'm so honored to be a part of that. I'm so lucky to be a part of that because that's the type of scenario where we can't fail because we all want the same thing and we're all going to give it everything we have and we're going to work together with it.
Absolutely. And it's so cool you landed in such a supportive locker room too. We were talking earlier, you have such a great support system at home. Really cool, probably healthy too, right? For like mentality and your performance, just to be able to be around such supportive people wrestling. And you mentioned, NWA 75, EC3 took the world title from Tyrus, which was a big match. Were you, during that weekend of NWA 75, were you around them at all before the match? Or do you have any thoughts on that match itself?
Beforehand, not really. Just because everybody's doing their own thing, during the match or before their matches. There's so much to get ready for, so many things that there's a lot of moving pieces, to a wrestling show. So we all have our own stuff going on. I did watch the match. It was a phenomenal match, phenomenal main events. And then, one of the things that really was really cool was EC3 came down and he hung out with the boys at the end of the night. We're all at the hotel bar. Came down, he hung out with us all. He bought a round of shots for everybody and made a toast, and it was just like, this is really cool. Sorry, have to bleep that out. But like now he's got it. He's got the title. He's got the company on his back right now, right? Him and Kenzie are your world champions, and they have the company on their backs. I'm honored to be in their locker rooms. EC3 said it, 75 was the ending. The day after, it was the rebirth. It's a new era. NWA, I don't know if you've been tuning into Powerrr. I hope you have. If you're interviewing, better be watching Powerrr every Tuesday night.
I'm watching Powerrr. Yeah,
right.
I've been seeing all the people you're talking about right now. I mean, it's crazy. It's really, really amazing stuff. And I've been diving back too. I think it's really cool that NWA is fully available on YouTube. Like, I think that's it's so great to make the product accessible like that, and like
It
easy to
is.
viewing, because everyone's talking about ratings these days between like the AEW, WWE. I mean, this is how people are watching wrestling now, is through
Yes.
YouTube and stuff like that. So I think that is paving the way for the future.
It is. I know as much as I read, so I know as much as you.
Yeah.
And what I hear, but there's talks about there possibly, being a TV deal one day or a streaming deal somewhere. But that's what I read. I don't know the true facts on it. It's not my business to know right now, right?
No, exactly. Yeah.
But if that happened, awesome. The YouTube though, anybody in the world can watch it. And you said you've been watching it. Looks a little bit different than it has in the past couple of years, right?
It does. It's definitely a
Production
fresh
level
face.
is fresh faces, the wrestling, the attitude of it. I started watching NWA Powerrr pre-COVID, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, this is old school, like video game, like arcade wrestling, like that's where I saw it.
100%.
Like, I was like, this is awesome. It's old school studio wrestling. This is great. Something that they shared with us is that last week's episode was the most viewed episode since pre-pandemic.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. And you're there on the climb. That must have
And
made you
they're
feel
on the
good.
climb, and
Yeah.
it's a new era. So that toast that was made at 75, that was 75 years. That was the end of that. There's a new era being born. NWA is always going to be NWA. It's where, legends are forged, history lives. But it's a new era, and it's changing, and being a part of that and following their lead, it's gonna be special, man. And Samoa in Cleveland, Ohio, that's EC3's hometown. That's where Exodus Pro is located. His promotion that he runs. They have a show October 15th down there, and then we go down October 28th. TV tapings were sold out both days. It's gonna be amazing. And before I got on here, I was finishing, episode 2 of Powerrr. I got a little bit more to watch. Looks like Tom Latimer and EC3 are about to go into a feud, so I'm excited to follow that. The right people, I feel, are in the right places. We're just going to continue climbing. And then you asked me about the main events, the match between EC3 and Tyrus.
Yeah.
It sucked to see Tyrus lose, and retire. But knowing what comes with retirement is more time with your family, more time being at home. I couldn't be happier for him to be able to do that, because one day I'm going to want to retire and my kids are going to get sick of me. They're going to be like, Dad, go back to work. Like, no, I work. Now it's you take care of me now. So,
The roles are reversed. Yeah.
In the wrestling business, we never say never,
Never.
Ever. He can show back up again one day, and I know he'll be welcomed back with open arms. But for right now, I hope he enjoys his retirement and gets to spend that quality time watching his kids grow and spend it with his wife and enjoying his time.
I agree. I mean, he held that title what was his reign? I know they touted it a lot during the match, but I forget. It was it was one of the longest, right? It was very.
No, I couldn't tell you what his reign is. I was so blown away by Camille's reign.
Yeah.
The one-time champ.
Fair.
For 3 years, she was champ, something like that, right? Like over 1,000 days. It was like 899 or something like that. When she lost it to Kenzie.
Yes.
Kenzie was her first title defense when she got the belt.
That's long-term storytelling. That's huge.
Long-term storytelling. And for Kenzie, scratch and claw for the last 3 years. Now to beat her, for it's so cool. And she's so young too. She's got her whole life ahead of her, and she can have that belt for as long as she wants it, because she can do anything. She has the business right here in the palm of her hand right now. So it's going to be exciting to see where she goes and what she does with this.
Yeah, so. and to have your hands in all of that, to all these people's careers so early on. A person I want to ask you about, again, asked it a month ago. Gotta ask it again. A former guest on the show was Skye Blue from your Chicago style wrestling days. And I know you were like a wrestling dad to her there too. And I just wanted to know, being such a family, and not even to mention Skye Blue, but we've got guys like Axel Rico been on the show. You mentioned Daisy Kill earlier from the Chicago wrestling scene. Who else? Mateo Valentine. And those are just naming a few that have been on my show. It's such a crazy good scene. And I'd love to know what your feelings were on Skye Blue getting signed to AEW and just taking off like she is.
I couldn't be happier for her. You know, it's huge. We all knew it, you know, from the first time we saw it. We're like, she's not gonna get around here for long, you know, she's got it. And she went and did it. So I always had the most upright respect for her and love for her. I'm not even salty or jealous that my daughter's a bigger Skye Blue fan than she is a Cody James fan. Let her have that one, all right?
Maybe, you know, with the Barker, that's going to change. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. She thinks he's creepy, so. But no, I'm so proud of Skye and seeing everything that she's doing. I mean, she just, I don't know if she wrestled, but I know she was over there in London for All In.
Yeah.
All In. I know she was over there. She did wrestle some shows. I haven't watched the pay-per-view yet. I want to, because everything I read about it's phenomenal, so I want to check it out. But she's on Dynamite almost every single week, or Rampage or Collision, so you know, she's doing phenomenal stuff. It's so cool to see it. And I mean, she's not the only one that's been over there. You know, you've had Axel Rico's been over there a number of times too. And it's Chicago, you said it, you know, the scene's fire out here, man. It's something else. And it makes me wonder if like the rest of the country's like this, you know, because the Midwest, it's so hot. Like what's the indies like in New York for you? Like, do you go to any shows? Do you follow them?
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, you've got House of Glory is probably the biggest, most consistent one that we've got here, and it's always popping. Like it's crazy the shows they have. They not too long ago they had House of Black on one of their shows in the main event, and just to be able to see, you know, rising stars who I've had on the show maybe like a year in the business, be able to get in the ring or even get around them in the back, some advice from people like House of Black or big. You've got Tommy Dreamer with House of Hardcore.
We just had Tommy Dreamer at CSW last month.
So cool. I can't even imagine what he says to Rise. I mean, it's just invaluable to see. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Chicago scene is like. I only know from talking to each and one of you, and it seems
every weekend we have about 6 shows running.
Okay.
Every weekend. If you want to wrestle in Chicago or Indiana or Wisconsin or Minnesota or Iowa, pick a weekend. Pick a day, you can wrestle. Like, it's crazy that we have that. It's at our fingertips, you know. Like, if I wanted to wrestle 4 days a week, every single week, I could.
You could. Amazing wrestling's at that, you know, stance right now. Like, that's so booming. Cool. Yeah,
it's booming, and it's so special, and I just want it to continue. I want it to continue growing, and I think with you know, the merger that happened today, it's official today, right?
Huge.
On the New York Stock Exchange. TKO is, you know, it's a real thing now. And I think that's going to be bringing even more insight to wrestling and the UFC. But there's a lot of UFC fans that aren't wrestling fans. There's a lot of wrestling fans that aren't UFC fans. To bring those two together, it's going to just do great for the business. You know, I'm a firm believer if people work together instead of against each other, competition's good, right? We all need competition. That's how people grow. That's how people get better. That's how we improve. Yeah. But if we were in it for the same reasons and we understand that and work together, we're just both going to benefit from it. So I think this is going to be phenomenal. I said the same thing when AEW started. You know, it's good for it. For business, because it's another outlook for people to go to. Not everybody is a WWE fan. It's a different type of wrestling. You go to AEW, that's a different type of wrestling. You go to the NWA, It's a different type of wrestling. You go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's a different type of wrestling. Not only are you getting different wrestlers, you're getting different looks. You know, you're getting different characters, getting different personas. So having these outlets where there's a little bit for somebody everywhere, it's just going to continue growing. And yeah, I'm super excited. Like I said, you know, the next 6 months in the NWA, I can't wait to see where that goes. You know, the next 5 years in wrestling in general, who knows what's going to happen?
Like we said, a month, so much happened. I can't even imagine 5 years. Somebody I want to ask you about, NWA alumni, and also a meteoric rise right now in the WWE. Curious if you have any thoughts on LA Knight and everything that he's doing right now, and his history, of course, with the NWA.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. You know,
yeah, right. It's awesome. I saw him when he was with NWA. That's when I first like found out who he was. He didn't go by LA Knight though. What did he go by?
He was Eli Drake. And,
Eli Drake, that's right. And I saw him do a promo. He was wearing Jordans. I'm like, dude, those are dope. He was like some Jordan ones or something. I'm like, dude, those are dope. This dude's got good style. I'm a big shoe nut. Like, I love my shoes. Fun fact about me.
That is a very fun fact. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I really like shoes. So yeah, I paid attention. Like, man, this guy can talk. It's really, really good. And then saw him show up on NXT. I'm like, what the heck? I just watched him on Powerrr a couple nights ago. And yeah, man, I'm loving it. I think he's a phenomenal character. I think he's older too. You know,
he's just hit 40. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just getting his shot. You know, like he's been in it for a long time, and I have a soft spot for above 30 guys. You know, at me being 35, being in the business since 2019.
Right.
You know, it's a long shot. You know, he's obviously been in it well before I ever got into it, but you know, it just shows you hard work, determination, not giving up. He's at the top of the chain. I read something the other day that he's, you know, listed as their top babyface right now.
It's
which I don't know how that's possible because Cody's
Cody is Cody.
Babies everywhere he goes. You know, like, that dude's over the moon, and I love it. You know, that's my dream match one day though. Is
Cody Rhodes,
Cody Rhodes versus Cody James. Cody versus Cody. Just for the title alone. Like,
yeah,
I'd do the job for him, brother, but you know, it's
no,
just for the marquee.
You gotta
Cody
go
versus
over.
Cody, you know, like he's a former NWA champion too, so never say never, right? But
no,
LA Knight is, somebody compared him to Austin and The Rock. Like, yeah, it's what we need right now, in my opinion. Like, we need that character. And we haven't had it in so long, so I'm really excited for it. So I find myself tuning in, or at least looking up like the highlights when I see that he was on or he said something. It's like, all right, let's go watch this promo to see how it was, and I'm like, knocked it out of the park, brilliant. So I'm happy for him.
He really does,
and I'm excited to see where he goes. Maybe he'll be the one to beat Rowan. Who knows?
Who knows? You can only speculate, but yeah, you're right. And he's very much, he reminds me of like Austin Rock too. And earlier you were saying you're watching, you know, the Riddler, you're watching the Joker to get inspired for the Barker. And he said something similar in an interview where he was like, because some people are using it as a criticism to compare him to Austin and The Rock. And he's like, I'm influenced by them and so much else outside of sports entertainment. You know, you use it all, you put it all together. Yep. So really cool practice that you're doing, obviously, with the Barker. But if you could go back and tell Cody of 3 years ago anything after this long journey you're on now, all the success and twists and turns, what would you tell Cody of 3 years ago?
Shut up and listen. Just shut up and listen. If somebody's taking the time to talk to you, they don't have to. Mm-hmm. They care. After my tryout match, Ricky Morton pulled me aside and came up and he talked to me. gave me some advice, gave me his opinion on the match. And I took that and I apply it to every single match that I wrestled. We ate breakfast together at the Chase, and some of the stories that he was telling me, I'm just like, dude, like this is amazing, right? Just taking it in and just enjoying it. But that's one thing. And he told me when he was giving me the advice is he's our biggest fan. He loves professional wrestling. And in order for professional wrestling to keep going, it's going to need more wrestlers. So he wants us to succeed. So professional wrestling continues to grow. So he said he's our biggest fan. He wants to see us succeed. And that told me right there, he didn't have to say anything to me. He didn't have to talk to me. He didn't have to take time out of his day. He had his own shit going on. He saw something and he wanted to come and talk. And no matter where you're at or who it is, just listen. Even if you don't think it applies to you, just listen. Because every bit of advice helps. Every bit of advice. Nobody knows everything. Nobody has the secret to everything. If they did, there'd be a lot more Hogans. There'd be a lot more Rocks. There'd be a lot more Austins. There'd be a lot more Macho Men. Nobody has the key to success. Not one person has all the answers. They all listen to people, and now the next generation, they're all listening. So, they say the saying is mouth shut, ears open, and take it all in and just don't stop. Don't ever think that you can't learn something.
Yeah. No, it's excellent advice for wrestling and for life in general. It's so cool to hear you say that. And you're in like such a great position to take in all that knowledge right now too. Your goals in that episode 3 years ago were to get your foot into companies, to open doors for yourself. And you've done that. You've succeeded in those goals. As I said, so happy to see it. What are some goals for you now? What are your long-term or short-term goals with the NWA?
To get the Barker over is definitely a goal. It's a huge goal.
Yeah.
I would love to be a tag champ in the NWA with Jake Dumas. I would love an opportunity at the national title. So those are some goals for NWA. Whether goals, whether they're dreams. My main goal with wrestling right now, though, is to show my kids and to inspire people. My children being part of the people that I inspire. I'm 35 years old right now. My agreement with my wife was get somewhere by 35, or we're going to have to reel it in and not be gone every single weekend. We accomplished that goal. We got somewhere. All my eggs are in the NWA's basket right now. I am happy. It's where I want to be. I want to be a part of it. I want to grow with it. I have no aspirations of going anywhere else right now. This is where I want to be, and I'm proud of it. I'm very proud. I'm very honored to be there. So my goal to inspire people is to show them that hard work, I said this earlier, hard work, determination, setting your mind at something. You can achieve anything you want in life. Anything you want in life. I don't have a college degree. I graduated high school. I started working right away. And I started with the company that I worked for when I was 18 years old. I'm now 35 years old. I have a very nice life. I support my family. We do fun stuff. We travel, and I get to live my dream and be a professional wrestler because I worked hard my whole life. I worked hard. I kept my head down. I kept my eye on the prize, and I didn't stop. And I'm not going to stop because I want my kids to do the same thing for their families. Not saying I don't want them to go to college. I love them to go to college. It wasn't an option for me financially, and where my mind was at the time. It just wasn't in my cards. I would love for my kids to get a college education. It's expected of them, right? But for them to have, the determination. My daughter already does it with her homework. My son's 3, and I'm already seeing, little things that he does around the house. He wants to help with everything. We encourage them. We want to continue to encourage it because I want them to be the very best version of themselves. And I want some other little boy or little girl to watch this interview and be like, this guy, he's real. Not putting on an act, not putting on a persona. I'm a real human being, and I'm always going to stay true to that. Yes, I'm going to play a character when I'm on TV, or if I'm at an event, I'm going to be a character. If you're going to talk to me and you're going to want to know my story, I'm doing this to inspire those people. That's that kid that says, you know what? I want to be a professional athlete one day. Or you know what? I want to be a doctor one day. Or I want to own my own business one day. I want to be my own boss. I want to take care of my family one day. Or that's what I want to inspire them to do. And knowing that they can do it by working hard and grinding it out. And even when it looks tough, don't quit. Don't stop, because I almost stopped. I almost threw the towel in this year. But I didn't. Kept grinding, kept pushing, you know, and I got to where I want to be, you know. Am I gonna go somewhere else one day? Maybe, who knows? But right now, you know, I'm where I want to be. You know, I've hit the goal. I'm wrestling for a major wrestling promotion. So yeah, that's what I want to do right now. You know, I want to go to my kids' schools. I want to talk in front of their schools. I want to tell, you know, do inspirational speaking and stuff like that. It's that would be my end goal with this, just to be able to give back to the community, give back to families around my area where I live, or somebody in the world that's watching this right now, for them to say, you know what, the Cody James guy, I'm gonna go hit a follow on his Instagram or Twitter,
Yes.
Cody_James88. Another shameless plug. Right?
It's going to be sitting right there, Cody
There you go, yeah,
_James
right
88
at the bottom there. Yeah, that
next to the
click
Barker.
The like and follow.
Yes.
But that's what I want to do. I'm not doing this for a financial gain. Do I love this? Yes, 100%. Do I need to do this? No, I don't. But I love this. That's why I'm doing this. Do I love inspiring and motivating and helping people become the very best version of themselves? Yes, because that's what I do in my day-to-day job. I'm a leader. I lead people. I lead multiple managers and help them become the most self-sufficient, best versions of themselves. Well, I want to take it a step further, and I want to do it in another aspect and help, you know, the younglings grow and take off before they even get there, before they even have a chance to mess up. Because
you'll be right.
It took
there.
me a long time to get to this point. If I could have done this 15 years sooner, you know, but we, you know, one of my favorite quotes, it's from Batman Begins. He falls, and his dad asks him, says, Bruce, why do we fall? And he answers it, so we can learn to pick ourselves up again. And I feel like if I didn't fall all the times that I have, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I wouldn't be talking to you. I wouldn't be wrestling, you know, in different states every weekend. I wouldn't have my kids looking at me like I'm a hero. You know, it took a lot to get here. So if I could prevent some people from doing as many falls as I did, that'd be cool. If not, just enjoy the story along the way.
Excellent. No, keep the falls to a minimal, but those are tremendous goals and really inspiring. And I feel like if anyone just listens to that snippet of the interview, let alone the whole thing, they'll be inspired. Like, Cody, it's amazing to have you on after. It's so cool. We're both still doing what we love doing after 3 years.
Yes.
And I can't wait for the next 3 years to see where you are. I'll be watching the Barker. Everyone should watch the Barker. NWA in Samhain, right? Coming up.
Yes. NWA Samhain, October 28th, Cleveland, Ohio. If you can't be there, Fight TV, order it. But big shout out to Chicago Style Wrestling, my home, always will be my home, no matter what. We have a big event this weekend. Friday night, big show. We have Crash Tested Wrestling in a couple weekends where I'm the heavyweight champion there. I'll be teaming with Marche Rocket against Chris Miller and the Kang, Miles Mercer, tag team match. It'll be a big one. Whoever gets the pinfall in that match gets to wrestle me for the title. And if I get the pinfall, I get to pick who I wrestle for the title. So that will be
so cool.
Wow. Who I defend the title against.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's really a fatal four-way hidden behind a tag match because everybody's gonna be out for themselves, right? But
absolutely. Wait, who? And you said your partner was
Marche Rocket.
Marche Rocket, right? Who you mentioned a month ago. You gave great praise to. Everybody
great praise to.
Yes,
Marche in some Rocket. Circles is known as Carnage of Blunt Force Trauma, National Wrestling Alliance Tag Team Champion. So big kudos to that man right there.
Yeah.
They just beat Loud Rebellion at NWA 75. And then they beat the Crockett Cup winners the very next night, Knox and Murdoch, as well. So they got a lot of fire. But then Northland Pro Wrestling, All Heels Wrestling, Janesville National Wrestling Alliance, Rocket Pro, Damage Inc. Wrestling. These are some places that you can catch me at pretty much every single month or every other month. And if I forgot you, I'm sorry. Brew City Wrestling up in Wisconsin. And anybody down south, I want you to check out Joe Kazana's wrestling. He's got a phenomenal wrestling out in Knoxville, Tennessee. You might be able to catch Magic Inc. down there in the coming months. So got a lot of good names on there. You got AJ Kazana, you got Tom Latimer, you got Camille that frequent there. Page sisters frequent there. So the talent down there is unbelievable. But I'm hoping, Jonah, in 3 years, Rewind Recap Relive has their own wrestling show. I told you this last time we talked. But I think it was after you ended the recording, so I'm going to put you on the spot now. And you're going to have to book your own show, man, and you're going to have to bring on some of your guests.
I would honestly, it's a dream. I mean, that's part of this is the veterans who are so nice to come on and give all their knowledge and wisdom. That's one thing, but they've had their careers and their moments and they've made it. I find it interesting and really validating to be able to watch you guys succeed after being able to talk to you in the very beginning. So yeah, you're right. One day, everyone, all these rising stars and the veterans, if they want a show, it's in the making. I'm
calling out Don Morocco right now. I'm ready for him. I'm ready for him.
Just put the veterans and the rising stars together. It'd be an amazing show. It'd be great. Yeah, Cody James, the Barker, NWA future tag team champion. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. And just thank you for being, a true friend through all this. We met a few years ago doing this, but I can honestly say, that we've created a friendship over the years, from sharing drinks in Dallas, Texas at WrestleMania to nonchalantly conversing back and forth to you inviting me back on. And then, like any good friend would do, accidentally delete my footage and say, hey man, we gotta redo this. But it's really been, it's a ride. And that's another thing that I've loved about this ride is the people that you meet along the way.
100%.
Some of my people that I can call as friends. It's like, what? What did I do in a previous life to deserve this? I feel like I'm the luckiest man alive.
Better.
Rewind, recap, relive. For over 50 episodes, the revolutionary force in wrestling interview.